Okay, greetings everyone. This is First Centaurian 753 with the next episode of Geopolitical Simulator 4, Power and Revolution, playing colonial French colonialism. And I wanted to take a look at a few domestic issues in this episode. I believe I balanced the budget. I have to wait for the next week to calibrate and new budget numbers come in, but we should have a surplus coming in. Now, with that surplus, I have to decide how I'm going to spend the money. Now, I don't think we're ever going to get rid of all the debt in this game. France has public debt of $2.7 trillion. It's kind of not really productive for me to go after that as far as what the point of this series is. And a lot of countries do maintain a deficit, so it's weird how this game kind of, I feel like it does have a negative impact if you have a deficit. I mean, you get criticisms from the different lending agencies or credit agencies, international credit agencies, and it does seem to hurt you if you continue to have a deficit. So I usually just go ahead and get a surplus, and as you pay down the debt, then your expenses decrease as well, and then you have more money, so it just makes sense to do it. But trying to pay off that entire debt again, here's a debt reimbursement we're paying per year. That's $55 billion we're paying in debt reimbursement. So you cut that down, it's just gonna be a positive spiraling situation for you, as long as you don't spend too much. So the whole idea is, once you get your surplus, then just use part of it to pay down the debt, and then use the other part to do whatever you want to do as far as your investment goals or whatever, or what have you. So my plan is, whatever the amount that I get reimbursed you get it reported every 3 months, so 4 times a year. So every 3 months, what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to use a third of the debt, a third of the surplus, to pay down the debt. So I'm not going to touch a third of it. I'm going to take another third of it, and I'm going to do foreign policy issues. And our foreign policy goals, again, are to maintain influence over the West African and Central African countries, particularly the two that are in those organizations that I showed you in the first episode. What's the name of those organizations again? So for maintaining influence over those two, I should write these down so I don't forget them. Eastern African Community, that's not it. To maintain influence over these organizations, if I can find them, I know who's in them. I'm going to be spending money on the military or foreign aid to these countries. And I looked at some of the numbers for these countries economically. Central Africa, that's one. I'm going to write that down. That is the EMCCA. EMCCA. Alright, which is a economic and monetary community. That's interesting. I wonder if they have the both purposes. I don't know if you can do that in the game. And then there's this one, I think. Yes, West Africa. Economic and Monetary Union of West Africa. EMUWA. Alright, so these are the countries that I was talking about in the first episode that still have ties to France monetarily. This game doesn't really represent it that much, other than putting them all in these monetary unions, but there are certain commitments that they have to make to France being in these unions. So we're going to try to so this is sort of a neo-imperialistic empire of France. I'm going to try to maintain influence over these countries. Some of these countries, like Togo, Benin, we should have, I'd rather have like a green outline around them. So we're going to be actively, this one's not good either, actively working to, one, improve these countries, and two, maintain influence over them. And if I have to colonize them, I will. Well, and I just wanted to actually show you guys real quick. I was looking at economics in these countries, GDP, and GDP is pretty bad in a lot of these countries. That's not one of them. There you go. Mali. I think the best GDP might be the Ivory Coast, actually. 47 billion. A lot of these countries do not have very good GDP. Niger, yeah, that's horrible. Congo, Cameroon, they got 39. Cameroon and Ivory Coast, I think, are the two best. Gabon, no, not really. Chad, yeah. Equatorial Guinea. So I want to actually improve the economy of these countries, as well as I also looked at health too, which was another one. I think it's under demographics, actually. Life expectancy in these countries pretty low. 82 in France, but 61 in Niger. Probably Ivory Coast is 53, even though it's got higher GDP. I don't know if it's got GDP per capita. I didn't look at that. Cameroon 57. So if I can improve the economies of these countries, the idea would be that I can increase life expectancy. Maybe improve GDP per capita. I don't know if I can do infrastructure building, like if I could build like a rail line from there to there, or highway. I know I can build lines from my country to another country, but I wonder if I can build lines in other countries. I think if the game allowed you to do that, I think it would be a lot better. It's one of my recommendations for the game. Alright, so that's foreign policy, but I'm also going to look at domestic policy in this game as well, and instead there was two issues I wanted to really address. Global warming and... Was it on here? I thought it was on here. Terrorism. Terrorism is not bad. Global warming is bad. So one thing I'm going to have to do to improve global warming is to look at my energy policy. I think it's going to be one step. CO2 emissions have gone up, so that's no good. So one of the things I want to do is get rid of all these fossil fuel energy plants. But in order to do that, I need to be able to provide enough electricity to cover... Oh, I am covering it. Yeah, we're using less electricity. That's interesting. Production cap electricity is 448 versus our consumption is at 441. I wonder if the taxes that we've imposed had an impact on that consumption. CO2 emissions have gone up. I'm going to try to get rid of these plants, and one way I'm going to do that is by going nuclear. I think we already have a bunch of nuclear power plants here, 20 nuclear power plants, and then looks like we're building one 3G, third generation nuclear power plant. And I don't know what the difference is. It's really the same terawatts per hour, same cost. There's really like no difference between the two of these. I mean, maybe one is less likely to explode or something like that, have a meltdown, so I guess I'll just go ahead and do these. This is 12.5 billion. If I can get like two of those, I don't even need, give me one of those, and we can start dismantling these plants. I might even start dismantling these plants now. 4 million to dismantle a plant. Alright. Manpower to allocate. Available manpower. Okay, yeah, we got plenty of available manpower. Alright, so yeah, that's going to be a step. That, improving infrastructure, maybe education a little bit, and maybe looking at some ways to cut some taxes. I was looking at all these organizations, associations. They're all pretty much neutral to me. They all are basically just, except for, what is that one? National Club for Driver Rights. Wow. Oh, that's because we cut the carbon emission. Everything else is just got this, neutral look at me. What does that say? This individual's appreciation of you is just bleh. And the unions, these top 3 unions are in favor. I think that's because I reduced the amount of money required for employee retirement contribution. And I think the rest of these are pretty much fine with me, except for employers. They do not like me at all. That's the company turnover tax. By the way, there was a good explanation of the company turnover tax in the last video, or 2 videos ago, I think, for me. So go ahead and check that out in the comments. One of the, hopefully you're a subscriber, posted a good comment. BLXZ, Blacks, whatever. Whatever name you're going for there. Thank you for the comment, and there was also some interesting discussion that followed with a few other people, so go ahead and check that out. Interesting discussion in the comments 2 videos ago. I think episode 2 is where that was, because I am recording these 2 at once. Alright, so it's been 10 minutes. Somebody's going to yell at me for not playing. let's run this. Troubles demonstrator killed here.
A rebel was accidentally
Alright. Let's bring in the police reinforcements. See what that does. And somebody asked me what my goals were if I'm going to actually... First victims, popular price. Oh, yeah, gotta get in there. Somebody asked me, am I actually going to... I guess the question was, am I going to do colonization or just attack one country and then end it or something like that? I don't know what that exactly means, but in the first episode I did outline the goals of the series, and they are still outlined at in the description of every episode. So the goals of the series, as I said, one was to maintain influence over those West African, Central African countries. And that just means having favorable governments, possibly taking them over if necessary. Not really committing to that, but I'm going to try to create a trade union first, and then maybe a military alliance with those countries. Maybe that will be a good way to exemplify having influence over those countries. Oh no, that's not going to work. Come on. Come on. There it is. Alright, let's get this guy. Where are those reinforcements? The army's here. I don't know where the reinforcements are. Let's put them in the square if we can. Let's go. Move, move, move. You can do better. You can do better. Everyone's telling me I can do better. Nobody's satisfied there. Central African Republic wants a meeting. Or maybe I requested a meeting.
I didn't come empty-handed. I wanted you to see in order to submit to you this economic contract, which, as you
I'm gonna want to buy from these guys.
is profitable for both.
That's the other thing. Trade with these Central African and West African countries could help to improve their economies as well as mine. So let's see. We have. Let's see, we can probably get a lower price for this, 50,000. Our consumption is much high over our production. They want to give us most of their production. Where are they going to get their consumption from? Well, let's give them a decent number here, 42. There we go. I'm going to give them a decent number. It's not a big commitment from us. Oh, I probably should have asked for more. Probably should have engaged a little bit more. Can we arrest some people here? This is horrible. Public finance is very good. Let's check that out. Let that run for a little bit. So the public finance, we are now at an excess of 4.8 million in thousands. So I'm gonna go for one more turnover tax increase. I don't want to do too much because businesses are getting a little upset, but 39 billion would be nice. New reform. This would be tax reform. I think 4 or 3. I don't remember. Tax reform. I say 3. I think it's 3. Confirm that. Go ahead and get that in. And then, which one was it? The carbon tax, I think. Carbon tax. Add that to tax reform 3. Add reform. Now, how are we looking? Yes! That's how I get anything done that I want. Anything and everything done. Carbon tax. Carbon tax is the new 2019 add-on, the new gem of tax reform. Get that done. That'll give us a huge surplus. Huge. And then we'll be able to start playing around with the money a little bit. distributing things, maybe building more military installations. I'd like to build military installations in those countries and help put down these rebellions, but last time I had a problem with that. And since I have access to those countries too, I wonder if I can actually go in through those countries, Senegal and Cape Verde. Nah. Maybe I could take over Cape Verde. You know what? I'm going to send agents there. I might invade this country, because that'll give me good positioning and infrastructure for wielding influence in West and South Africa. And then maybe Sao Tome? Is that one? That's another one. So let me go ahead and... yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and put some more agents in those countries. Political spying is the goal. And here, we might just want to grab some of these countries where we can build naval installations and help to put down any type of terrorist instability in those West African and Central African countries where we're trying to wield our influence. And someone also said Venezuela. We're not looking good with them. I may attack them. I don't know if I want to conquer them, though. Maybe colonize them? Even though colonizing doesn't really benefit much. Maybe I could create a Caribbean sphere of trade, colonize Cuba and Venezuela. That's something. Triangular trade. New triangular trade. Neo-triangular trade. Alright, so the other thing that I wanted to do was to create an organization. Organization of Nations. 2 of them. New organization. New Organization of Nations. Let's see. Okay. Is this not playing? I thought this was playing. Oh, let me play through. I thought that was going, sorry. I'm going to play through the end of this month and just see what the surplus is going to be. Meeting requests. Whoa. Everything came at me at once.
Business leaders are currently marching through the city.
Yeah, they are pissed.
We are waiting your
Uprising in Strasbourg.
The rioters have taken.
A lot of rioting. CO2 emission. Recent efforts have paid off. There you go. Present studies have shown that our CO2 emissions are significantly lower. According to our projection curves, we are currently compliant with international objectives for 2030. Congratulations, Mr. President. Big achievement there. Let me just check out this real quick. Global warming. What is our temperature at? Projected global temperature. Abnormality due to 5.5. Due to human activity for 2000. 5.5. What? I don't know what that is. Global warming caused by disruption of natural greenhouse mechanisms. Sun rays that reach the Earth's surface are partially reflected back into space. Greenhouse gases retain a portion of them, which contributes to the warming of the planet. These greenhouse gases are composed mostly of water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide. With these gases, the average temperature of Earth's surface could be negative 18 Celsius? Without these. Oh, it would be. Sorry, I read that wrong. Since the beginning of the industrial era, human activity has released excess amounts of these greenhouse gases, particularly carbon dioxide and methane, reaching record levels in the last few years, and thus causing unnatural rise in temperature around 0.9 Celsius since the pre-industrial era. If humanity doesn't change its ways and limit these emissions, this rise in temperature could reach 5 degrees Celsius by 21. I guess that's what this is. Increase in temperature, 5.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. This warming has serious consequences on national operation of the planet. Erratic weather, heat waves, torrential rain, storms, droughts, rising sea levels, acidification of the ocean, as well as losses or changes in biodiversity. So that would be interesting. That if the game actually does change. I guess this is the projected amount that it's changing. Okay. Cause overpopulation, deforestation. Atmospheric pollution, ocean acidity, rising sea levels, natural disaster effects. Cause and effect is ocean acidity. The cause and effect. Effects, which are the blue arrows, and the reds are the causes, blue are the effects. Extinction of animal species, climate refugees, epidemic, world hunger. Alright, so that's what we're looking at, and I guess they said that our CO2 emissions have improved, and I guess we can look at that in the environment. CO2 emissions, there it is. That's right now. That was in the beginning. Oh, it went down. It is definitely going down. Look at that. G-tons. Gigatons? I don't know. They can't be gigatons. I don't know what that stands for. Alright, let's keep playing. We gotta get one more reform in. And, oh, meeting with Afghanistan. Sure. Very good. And still got riots in 2 cities now. Let's check this out again. I can't get through these barricades for some reason. There you go, we're gonna send these police in. Play. Well, we're getting them. Lock them up. How many more you got?
We have subdued the
Very good. Uprising subdued in Paris now. Strasbourg uprising. Pure intelligence? That's probably gonna make it worse. Oh, no. Bring in the reinforcements. Good. There we go. See how that works. Mitron is powerless. Etienne, I can't say those words. I don't know how to pronounce his name at all. Mitron. Reinforcements have been set. Aha! Oh, we had issue debt. Yeah.
Our fiscal performance in the last quarter is poor and shows a deficit.
Except meeting with the Congo for sure. We're going to trade with them.
Of debt so that our national and international lenders can take it over.
Alright, 13.7 issuance of debt has increased our debt, so hopefully we should have going forward, though, a budget surplus, and then we can spend that money to try to improve things. Oh my god, look at all these people. There's a lot of them. Oh. Get them. No, I want you to get out of the car. Why do they even put them in the car? This car just sucks. I'm gonna get out of here. Yuck. That looks ugly. And my authoritarianism? Because of taxes? International Space Station. Abandoned. Ooh, Estonia abandoned their International Space Station. Oh man. Elfians was the guy from Estonia, I believe. I don't know if you still watch the show Elfians, but if you do, sorry to hear your country abandon the space station.
The state of industry in our country is very worrying.
Oh, maybe I should cut some industry taxes. Company tax. Yeah, got a poll on that one. That works. Oh no. Let's cut it by 3%. Hold that. And that will work. Confirm. That should stimulate some industry, hopefully, and make up for the increase in turnover taxes. Oh, the national drivers. Maybe I should build some roads or something like that. ICT factors in development and prosperity. Alright, I've read about this. I know what these are for. That would be a good place to invest some of our surplus, but we're not investing in surplus yet. What we are going to do is recruit more agents. I'd say another 100. Another 100 agents. That's 150 million. I could probably spend 500 million. Agent training. Oh, that's more. I'll spend $1 billion. Fight terrorism. That's important. Arrgh. I want political espionage and industrial espionage, and I need cryptography. And it's 2 billion. All right, that's enough for now. Boom. Spending 2 billion on security issues. And I didn't see how much that company tax is projected. A little joint.
Sometimes I don't know.
Oh, you creepy.
Your conservative management combined with growth prospects reflect a stability that gives us confidence in your solvency and
Very good.
in your leadership. We trust you. Let me remind you, in case you're unaware, that our assessment is mainly based on your projected budget deficit and your debt.
Popular uprising is still hurting us. Social. Jeez, look at this. I'm gonna have to send in the troops. There's a military base right here. Let's deploy these guys. Let's see. I'm gonna deploy a handful of them right here. Hopefully this will make them disperse. Look at this. This is a mess at the HQ. They're overrunning the HQ. Usually when I send it... Oh, this is all the troops. I didn't want to send them all. Alright, just protect the military headquarters. Police. Go. Alright, this should block a military intervention. That's going to hurt. But we're not going to make any more big tax moves, I don't think. Yes, dispersing. You must disperse. That forces them to disperse. We're losing popularity big time. I gotta get my popularity back somehow. Alright, everyone's afraid of guys with guns. That did not help my popularity. Retake the bank. Fear in the city. Meeting with
Good morning.
Karzai.
I didn't
not
come
Karzai.
empty-handed. In fact, I wanted you to see in order to submit to you this economic conflict.
I might not survive with this popularity. Horrible popularity. What is this? What do we want? Natural gas. This really isn't enough. I'm gonna refuse this one. Not part of my alliance system. So, beat it. War on unemployment.
With your unemployment rate, you can't keep procrastinating with
Look at all these guys. This is horrible. Okay. I gotta take a look at some of these announcements. You know what? I'm gonna end this episode right now. We're approaching 30 minutes, so thank you for watching. It's a little chaotic. I'm not sure if I'm gonna last here, but we should just gotten some new. We should get a new budget coming in soon, and I'm thinking if we survive to the next quarter, then we'll have some money, some surplus to spend. And I also do want to try to start putting together those free trade zones in Central and West Africa, but this has been kind of chaotic for me. I'm not really doing that well with France for some reason. Usually I do a lot better. But thank you for watching. Please like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and click the bell button if you want to get updates. You can also support me on Patreon in the link down below, and I think I will also put in links to those two books that I mentioned in the previous episodes, Peter Zeihan's The Absent Superpower and George Friedman's The Next 100 Years, for those fans of geopolitical reading. Those are two books that I've read recently that I really enjoyed, and I get a lot of the information that I use in the broadcasts from them as well. From them and other publications from Stratfor or Peter Zeihan. I think also has a new company that he's been publishing things with. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode.